Hello and welcome to Synergy 365, day 7. When I originally thought of this, I totally forgot about the weekends, and I was asking myself yesterday, do I want to loop back and say, hey, I know I said 365, but I only meant the business days. And I had like this moment where I needed to decide, am I going to shoot on the weekends or not? And am I going to give myself an eye? Just you know what, let's just go ahead and knock it out. But what's interesting is that on a Sunday, I have more time, and I have time today. And there's a topic around talent and the recruiting game and the interviewing that we do when we're trying to acquire talent that I've just had on my heart for a very long time. All right. In terms of how we go about doing it. I think I eventually want to do a more succinct video on it, edited and everything, but I want to get my thoughts out. All right. So context. Yes, we do bank and credit union consulting, credit risk, enterprise risk, operational risk, strategic planning, things of that nature. But often within the credit union world, sometimes I find myself involved in the interviewing process, whether it be helping a board find their new CEO, helping a CEO find a new CFO, basically being the person that can kind of audit the talent to make sure that the person in front of you is who they say they are, and making sure that we ask the right questions during the interviewing process and dig a little bit deeper during that second round. What's interesting is this: often when I'm involved, there's also a recruiter involved. Okay. Sometimes they got recruiters in the credit union and in the banking world that are former banking executives themselves, some not, but a lot banking and credit union executives themselves, and they know how to fashion questions in a manner specific to that particular job. Okay. So what I mean by that is, if this is a lending officer job or chief lending officer job, they know how to make sure that the questions are appropriate for that particular role. I know this seems like a no-brainer, perhaps in your industry or what have you, but you will be surprised how I've been involved in recruiting where you'll have an organization looking for someone to fill a very mission critical role, and if not most of the candidates presented by the recruiting firms are not even close to what they need. And sometimes I wonder, how does that happen? And what I mean by that is this. Let's just say you're looking for a new chief lending officer, and internally that your strategic goal says that you're trying to grow organically your mortgage portfolio, maybe continue your auto loan growth organically, maybe even branch out into some member business lending. I don't even know if this is really like a pro tip, but people don't do it. Wouldn't it make sense that when someone presents you with a list of those candidates, that you go back and look at where they've worked at, pull the call reports or Callahan or the data to see if those individuals have had any success or experience doing the thing that you actually need them to do? You'll be surprised how novel a thing that can be when I'm involved in, we didn't do that. Yeah, this person is telling you on their resume that they grew loans at their institution by 7 to 8% 3 years in a row. Dig deeper. Was it all indirect? Was it all participations? get into the weeds to make sure that the person is who they say they are. And can they deliver? Think about it. And that's nothing confrontational about that. If we were hiring, let's just use an analogy. If we were looking for a quarterback and our game plan next year is to throw the ball 75% of the time, would you hire a person or quarterback who the last 3 seasons, they had an amazing running back and the focal point of that offense wasn't to throw the ball? The person threw the ball less than 30% of the time. You wouldn't hire that person, right? That person may not give you the highest probability of success for your organization. Same thing here. You want to make sure that that person's record justifies, or you can vet their record and make sure that what they're seeing on their resume matches up. Last thing about this, the interview questions themselves, and this is a shameful plug. If you need help writing your interview questions for CFO roles, chief risk officer roles, audit officer roles, give me a holler. We provide talent augmentation assessments for HR. Give me a holler. I can help you work through it. Meaning, if you're hiring for a CFO and you know that you are having ALCO issues, you need to make sure that you're asking questions like, hey, CFO, tell me about how you implemented CECL for your organization. Hey, CFO, tell me a little bit about how you managed your investment risk within your board and your CEO's risk appetite. These are some of the questions that those type of questions are often missed by a lot of the recruiters. And because of that, you don't get an opportunity to get a fair depiction of who's in front of you. So then you hire the person, 90 days later, you realize the person isn't exactly who you thought they were. And it's because that we aren't asking the right questions, both during the interview process and during the search process. So that's all I have on that. I think I want to kind of expand on that a little bit more and get into what questions we should ask for a chief marketing officer, what questions we should be asking for MBL officers and chief risk officers in previous videos. But before you make your next hire, ask yourself, are our interview questions detailed enough in that specific subject matter to make sure that we're getting the right responses to evaluate this person's qualifications? All right. Have a great day.